Silver looks like it's cooling off. Platinum makes a break for it. And of course, we'll take a look at gold. This is your weekly technical analysis brought to you by Ainslie and the Gold and Silver Standard. My name's Joe. You are looking at silver. We'll start with that. Then we'll do platinum. Then we'll do gold. We'll go in a different order this week. Of course, hit the big red subscribe button and use the time codes below to go to your favorite metal straight away. So silver here on the weekly time frame. We're using the tradingview.com website. It's priced in US dollars because the USD is the world's reserve currency. $25 per ounce as of right now. Pop on our indicators and let's talk about where we were last week. A tale of two silvers. Last week we were talking about silver, of course, also the silver of crypto, which was Ethereum. Won't do Ethereum this week. We'll come back to that probably next week, I think, at this stage. But we had been talking about the very infamous level. We've been talking about this for a while. The infamous resistance level, and a support level, just a very infamous level of $26. Very quickly for the new subscribers this week, and there have been quite a few. I'll show you very quickly what I'm talking about. $26 right here. After in the bull run of sort of 2000 and, well, it was quite a large bull run, but up to the peak right here, we came up to $31, and we had a first support level right here. That was in January of 2011. Then, of course, the big move all the way to the $50 mark. Then we had a second level of support. It was a third level of support, then a fourth level of support, and we thought, look, there's no way. 26 is the absolute line in the sand. It's the floor, never going to break again, and then eventually it did. All the way down, 7-year bear market, all the way down here to the low in March 2020. You know what happened there. And since a move back up, and here's your 26 level, a move up past 26 failed to hold for any significant period of time. It was only a few weeks, less than 2 months. Roughly, and then a breakdown below 26. Once again, tried to make a move, failed move, this move here, failed move, another failed move to hold above for any significant period of time. It did for a few weeks, but again, back down, tried to break it a little bit there, but not really. And then all the way down to this low back here in August last year that formed the symmetrical triangle. And we've been talking about this symmetrical triangle. Came to test it right here. Nope, failed move down to this support level right here, this downtrend line, very clear. And in the last 5 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green candles. And what do you know? We did find, as we were thinking here at Ainslie, we did find some kind of level of resistance, at least on the weekly time frame, at your $26 level. For me, it's a very significant level that needs to break through and hold for at least 2 months. For me, it's got to hold for at least 2 months for me to be confident that we're not going to break down again. But what we've seen so far is a little cooling off. So you've had this 5 weeks of green, and that's great to see. But of course, it does have to cool off at some point. What we have talked about quite regularly, it does not happen every single time, but after you break a significant pattern, you do tend to come back and visit the downtrend line, particularly in symmetrical triangle patterns. So you break out to the upside. If it breaks out to the upside, it breaks out and then comes back and visits. Will it do it this time? I don't know, but just bear that in mind. And we are in a weekly red candle. This so far this week is red. So it absolutely wouldn't surprise me. Again, doesn't mean it will. But mate, if it comes down to, let's do, so what's this week, another week, maybe 3 weeks worth, or maybe even the next week, if it spikes down to say your $24 level, somewhere along this downtrend line, would not be worried about that at all. If anything, that's just a nice, healthy correction after, again, 5 weekly green candles. That's quite a big move from 24 to 26, but very clearly, you can see that it even spiked up to almost exactly 26, I think, on this particular index, 26 and 8 cents. So very clear resistance level. I am expecting, of course, could be wrong, I'm expecting a move back down to this area of this downtrend line. Could be wrong, and if I am, of course, would be very happy to be wrong, because then we're heading in the direction in which I want it to go. Of course, if you are investing in the precious metals, you have to take into account what it's doing in your own local currency. And Of course, you probably want to consider dollar cost averaging anyway, not waiting for big lows or big highs. Just buy regularly every paycheck, etc., and do it that way. It's a great way to average your cost in. So that's what I'm expecting. If we do break below, and I did mention this last time, if we do break below this, we're coming back down to this area right here of between 22 and 22.50. That's my humble opinion. Lower than that, I won't talk about right now. You just have the bottom line of this symmetrical triangle pattern right here. Let's take a look at the relative strength index. Let's take a look at it on the daily. And as you can look very easily see, we have gone into a period of overbought and we're trending down. Does that always say it's going to continue going down? No, but on balance of probability, more likely to see a few more red days. So I am expecting this level to be hit at some point. Again, could be wrong and would be glad to be. Weekly time frame though, we did have this move all the way back down again to that $20 level roughly. No, it was actually at 7, wasn't it 20? Right here, sorry. No, you're back here in August of 2022, that $17.50 level. That marked this oversold territory right here. Very clear directional move back up, back down as a sort of support level roughly, and very clear move on the weekly time frame. So positive in the longer term, at least on the sort of monthly kind of time frame. More positive for gold is just in the next, let's say 8 to 10 days roughly, give it 14 days, more likely to come back here to test it. And let's take a look at the monthly time frame on silver. Monthly is looking good, in my humble opinion, looking bullish for me. Again, not financial advice, not the advice of Ainslie itself. Again, we just recommend diversifying and averaging your costs in. But you can clearly see here support level on the relative strength index and a clear directional move heading upwards at the moment into eventually it's the sort of overbought kind of territory. So bullish on the monthly, bullish on the weekly, just got to watch that. As I say, bullish on the monthly, watch the weekly, just at least the next couple of weeks. That's pretty much it. The next major level, if you're, again, new to these videos, the next major level for me is that $30 level right here. And my call for this year so far, and I'll put a link above to this specific video, but my call this year is I think we'll top out, at least the first level we might top out towards the end of or by the end of the year, somewhere between, if we are continuing to be bullish, the first level between $37 and $40. Some people are calling 34. That's a good call too. I'm going to stick with 37 to 40 at the moment. If you have a differing opinion, post a comment below and let me know your thoughts. That is silver. Let's take a look at platinum. So we have made a break for it once again just in the last couple of weeks. Well, in the last week, and then we've just opened a little bit green as well. What am I talking about? For those who have been watching my videos for quite a while, you do know what I'm talking about. For the new subscribers, here we go very quickly. Long-term downtrend line from February 2008 all the way. Look at that. This is on the logarithmic time scale. If you don't know the difference between logarithmic and linear, just do a quick little Google search, that'll tell you. I always like to use log charts, and most people do, I find. So, all the way down here, the low of March 2020, you know what happened there. Sorry, that's March 2020, right there. And a resistance level, very clear resistance level at 1330, but it was the first time that we broke through. And this is on the weekly time frame. It did hold for a while, but then it was a failure to hold, and then back down. A second attempt to break it, didn't break it, back down. Broke it, the sort of second failure to hold, and back down. Third failure to hold, we did break, but a failure to hold, fast move back to the downside. And I'm going to say, is fourth time a charm for breaking above and holding? I really need to see it hold for at least, again, I'm going to give you that kind of 8-week time frame for me. Certainly, I don't mind if we come back and test this downtrend line. It's probably more likely that we will, but it has to hold. And if it doesn't for a significant period of time, I'm going to say again, we're heading back down. But it's looking positive at the moment. So in the last week, you can see, I'll pop it in the daily time frame. Again, this is platinum. Are you into platinum? Post a comment below and let me know if you do have a position, but it's looking very good. We have this move last week. So Tuesday we were here, and then we've had this beautiful move back through the psychological value of 1,000 all the way up to 1,060 US dollars, and a quick little bit of retracement. And you can see very clearly, have a look on the relative strength index, that clear oversold area right here, beautiful directional move. We are starting to get into the overbought territory, and you can see we actually haven't hit extremely overbought. So what I mean by that is moving above this dotted line right here, above the 70 mark right there. We haven't gone into extremely oversold since February, no, my apologies, since March of 2022. So it's been a whole year since we've gone into overbought, I should say, into overbought territory. It's probably due for one very, very soon, so that means it could be, but just bear in mind we've come up to this kind of area right here before the 70 level, and we've come back down every time. Doesn't mean we're going to do it, but we will eventually go into overbought at some point. Is this the point? That remains to be seen, but I think I'm more bullish on platinum in the next couple of weeks, at least, than I am for silver. So the next level we need to look at, let's try the weekly time frame, and again directionally with the relative strength index, very clearly we came up with a support level and we're in a good direction at least. And right here we have started the week off green as well, so I'm more positive for platinum than I am for silver, at least for the next couple of weeks. Bear in mind, if we do come back down here in the next couple of weeks like silver, if we do find support here, don't stress until we break down through this trend line. That's where I'd be getting a little bit annoyed and worried, and I'd be thinking we'd be heading back down to this support level here, somewhere between 960 and 940 US dollars. Breaking above, very clearly a couple of clear resistance points. You're looking here at 1100. I haven't got the horizontal lines in, but very clearly just previous resistance points. Right here, 1100 and 1175, and then you've got the first one here, which is my first target for the platinum forecast for 2023. I'll put a link above and below to that as well, my platinum price forecast for 2023. That's the first level where I think it might top out at for the entire year of 2023. I have a couple of levels above as well. Watch that video if you want to check it out. But in the interim, 1100, you got to break above there and hold above there. But so far, more bullish on platinum for the next couple of weeks than I am for silver. That is it for platinum, and let's take a look at gold. Now, what you can very clearly see here, again, this is gold on the weekly time frame, priced in US dollars. Pop on the indicators, and in the last week, couple of red weeks. Last week was a red week for gold. Now, what you'll notice here, actually, the difference between gold and the difference between silver. On the weekly time frame, we had this downtrend line, we broke above, and then we retested it, and then we've broken above that. Unlike silver, whereas as you can see, and this is again on the weekly time frame, we've broken above, but we haven't had the retest yet. It's why I think silver is going to cool off more so than gold. And very quickly, I'll just go to show you right now. Where are we? Right here. On the gold to silver ratio, that's why I think silver cooling off, it will cool off more than gold. So I think gold will take precedence in terms of its performance in the next couple of weeks. You can see that we came down here on the gold to silver ratio all the way smack through this level right here, through this level that I had drawn in between 80.5 and 82 roughly, lower down to a low of 78, so under 80. Very interesting. So I do think gold will outperform silver in the next couple of weeks at least, coming up to probably a maximum of about your 83.5 right there. So that tells me silver will cool off, gold might just continue to consolidate in a range or go for a little pump. So that's when you'll see, if gold's outperforming silver, you'll see this go more green in the upward direction. Back to gold very quickly though, as you can see that. So break above, retest, and then on our merry way. We've topped out so far at 2,050 US dollars, and we've opened the week red so far, but what you'll notice is a very quick spike down, almost like a double bottom right there on the weekly time frame. So more bullish for gold in the next couple of weeks at least. And of course, I can't leave this without showing you the cup and handle right here, the crazy cup and handle, of course, which we've been seeing playing out for a very, very long time. The cup, the handle, we had a double top here all the way back down, but usually you do not see, and again, not financial advice, not advice of Ainslie, all that, you don't tend to see, they're much more rare that you have a triple top. So once you see a double top and then you come back down, then come back to start to retest the double top, a triple top is much more unusual. Doesn't mean it's never happened, but most analysts would suggest that coming back here after a double top, you're very, very likely to see it continue. So I'm definitely bullish on the precious metals in general for the next, months and years ahead. But very, very bullish on gold in particular because of the double top and then coming back up to almost test it. In my humble opinion, it's not going to be a triple top, and we're not going to see your lower prices, or much lower prices from here. It's not doomsday, in my humble opinion. So looking positive for gold, and as I said, positive that gold will outperform silver at least in the next couple of weeks. Of course, you have to break the 2070. If you're new to the channel, again, welcome. I have this level here of 2120 as a slight level of resistance. That's just in the next few weeks. Again, I do a weekly technical analysis every single week, and I'll just show you for the newbies here to the channel, my next level of resistance is around about here at $2,400 US. That's a Fibonacci level, and I actually just drew in the other day, and I don't know why I didn't have it in previous. Maybe I had it in and then I'd gotten rid of it. Was the really big trend line right here. This is going back to 1980, of course, that level of $850 US back in $1980, that is. What is it, inflation adjusted? Do that calculation in your head. That trend line all the way through to here of that $1,800 roughly. And then, so you have that to contend with as well, that particular trend line. That is going to be tested sooner rather than later. And here's this horizontal line right here, this vertical line right here signifies the start or the end of 2023, the start of 2024. There is nothing saying to me that we could not test this level right here within this year. Again, this is a monthly time frame. Each candle is 1 month. You have lots of room to move, definitely to 2400, depending on where the world is going. Very easy, a quick hop, skip and a jump to here by the end of the year. So $2,600 by the end of the year, US dollars, is really, really doable if we continue in the direction and the pace in which that direction is going for the rest of 2023. Post a comment below. Do you disagree that we could reach, say, $2,600 US by the end of this year? I think it's doable. I'm not going to call it for sure, but just keep that in the back of your mind. And breaking below, we always have to just take a look at the opposite direction, just in case. I will show you the relative strength index as well. Breaking below, we would be finding this as another test right here, this downtrend line, so I'll keep that in for the moment. Breaking below that downtrend line, you have this level of 1900 to 1880 as a level of support I would find. Breaking below there, I'll keep this as well, that 1780 to 1810 level. I don't think it's going to go there, but you never know. I'll just keep it in there for now. Relative strength index on the weekly time frame, very clearly you can see that we went from oversold to almost in overbought territory, moved back down to the halfway point, and directionally it looks like we're moving up. On balance of probability, because I do not think this will be a triple top and we are moving higher in the next coming weeks and months, I'm going to suggest, at this point at least for me personally, that we're going to enter extremely overbought territory in the next few months at least. This is on the weekly time frame. That is the relative strength index. I think we're going to go into extremely overbought. Now, what happens is you go into extremely overbought. Could be for a decent period of time. Sometimes it's a good couple of months. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's quicker, but we will go in there at some point. My gut tells me that we will go into overbought territory around about that 2120, 2130 level at this first resistance level right here, and then we might take a little bit of a break, maybe back down to the 2070 level. But again, I'm just hyper speculating now, so I shouldn't do too much of that. That is just my humble opinion, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And that is gold. I will show you on the monthly time frame the relative strength index as well. Yeah, really confident at the moment in gold. Again, this won't be a triple top in my opinion. Doesn't mean it is true, but you can see here overbought, back down to this support level. You can see a very clear support level on the relative strength index at around about that 42 level. I've mentioned that before, and directionally we're looking very good in terms of the relative strength index on the monthly time frame as well. I'm going to leave it at that. Very bullish for gold in the next few weeks and months. I think silver will cool off at least in the next week or so. I think gold will take precedence in the next week or so, particularly with the gold to silver ratio there. I think we've had a decent move down, so we might have a little move back up, quite possibly. So gold might outperform silver in the next 1 or 2 weeks. And platinum, I really needed to hold this level right here. So post a comment below. Let me know if there are any indicators that you use, that you like to use, and you think I should maybe incorporate into the weekly technical analysis every single Tuesday. And what we're doing out of interest, we are also going live every single Tuesday, not on YouTube, but on Facebook and Instagram. I'll put a link below, link below to those as well. We're going live Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. every Tuesday at the moment. So check that out. You've got me answering questions, doing a bit of show and tell, etc. But of course, I want you to hit the big red subscribe button on YouTube for the weekly insights videos, the product highlights, of course, the weekly specials where you get a special deal on bullion every single Thursday. It is at the moment our weekend wrap up. In case you missed all the videos, just watch the weekend wrap up. That helps. And everything else that we do on the channel, I want you to like, share, and subscribe. Good luck for the rest of the week. Dollar cost average, you know what to do. Balance your wealth in an unbalanced world. Stay safe, and we'll speak to you next week.